Hello everyone, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3, Overexplained. Last time we finished delving in this crypt, killed the people that were attacking us, and now Shadowheart would like to have a word.
Rising from the dead just to protect some dusty baubles. Fools.
Couldn't agree more. Besides, what use do they have for their possessions?
Their trinkets may be worth a few coins all the same.
And speaking of trinkets, we opened this door, which was what kicked off all those events a moment ago. So let's see what else we have in here.
To hide one sarcophagus.
Well, there is a heavy chest. Looting that, we get some arrows. Some gold, sorry. A fire arrow, which we will right-click and then send to Astarion as our resident archer. And then the Amulet of Lost Voices. Very rare amulet. The dead hold no secrets from Jurgles, Scriveners of Doom. The wearer of this item gains Speak with Dead, level 3 necromancy spell. So we'll give that to Shadowheart, just because she's a cleric and thematically it's fun for her to have that. So if we double click that, she will equip it on her neck slot, and if we go into her character sheet we can see it there. And so she now has the spell Speak with Dead. You can cast it and you can recharge it once per long rest to cast the spell. So each long rest you can cast it once. However, after you have cast it once, you can recast it an infinite number of times on any number of corpses, and you don't have to concentrate on that spell. So that is basically a tool to allow the developers to let you obtain plot from corpses, because a lot of times somebody else might get killed or you might kill something else, and then the plot is then locked behind those people. However, some corpses might hold a grudge if you are the one that kills it, and then you will not be able to take any extra information from them. Then we have this large, richly adorned sarcophagus with a plaque, and always read the plaque.
Here lies the guardian of tombs. Through knowledge comes atonement.
And this guy's face is still very bugged. It was bugged the last time I played, still is. He used to have problems with his shadow, but now just his face being inside out.
So he has spoken, and so thou standest before me, right as always. What a curious way to awaken. Now, I have a question for thee. What is the worth of a single mortal's life?
Who are you talking about? Who is he?
An arbiter of certain matters. But that is not important now. Wilt thou answer my question?
Ask away.
So, I ask again, what is the worth of a single mortal life?
Life's only value is as currency. Doesn't matter to me otherwise. That sounds very Shadowhearty.
To some, it is the only. Very well. I am satisfied. We have met, and I know thy face. We will see each other again at the proper time and place.
So, Withers there is going to go and head to our camp that we are going to check out in just a moment. But when we get there, he will be there and he will be able to sell us Scrolls of Revivify. And if one of our heroes dies in a manner in which the body cannot be recovered, he will offer us a fee, a service for a fee to recover the dead and have them restored to life as a member of the party. But the richly adorned sarcophagus here, if we open it back up, there is 89 gold and a scroll of silence. And with this place looted, we can head on out. And we came in, obviously, in one direction, but there is this large void over on this side of the dungeon. And it's one of those instances where they have very kindly given us a way to escape the dungeon at the end of the dungeon, rather than having to backtrack the entire way through. So if we pull that lever and go up this iron ladder, we now find ourselves on the other side of a trapdoor, just at the side of the cliff, on top of which sits the chapel.
Onward then.
So that dungeon is now complete. We are slightly injured, our spell slots slightly spent, but nothing too difficult to deal with.
Over here.
Now, we could go and take a long rest, but I think we're still going to be alright for a little while. So we will press on, and around the corner we are about to get into quite a large fight.
I'll be keeping an eye on you.
You can see on the ground here we have some twisting vines,
You will not even see it.
as our party has some banter. These inflict the entangled condition and inflict difficult terrain, so if we move through these by mistake, we become entangled, and so cannot move. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and attack rolls the creature make are at disadvantage, I think that was. So always look out for areas of the ground that pose a threat to us. Now, we can't climb back up there, but we can climb back up through the chapel to get to the tier we were on a moment ago. And we are back to where we rescued Lae'zel earlier. Now, as we approach this cliffside, you will notice some quips from the heroes here. And those quips are going to inform the events that are about to happen. So, earlier on you heard them having banter that Shadowheart was watching Lae'zel because she doesn't trust Githyanki. And that's kind of a harmless thing between the players. But as we walk up in this direction...
Don't linger. I hear shouting up ahead.
We should check it out. But be careful.
So, the heroes have told us that something is going on ahead. So, we can use that to our advantage now and begin sneaking as we approach a crowd that is shouting and possibly in conflict.
Time for a little death.
So, we can either go on the low ground here, but I'm going to take this area of high ground, because high ground is obviously an advantage in a fight. We can see some druids, or some people guarding the druids' grove over there. And if we push far enough along here, we will get an autosave and it will trigger a cutscene.
Open the bloody gate!
Nobody gets in! Zevlor's orders!
That pack of goblins will be on us any second!
What's going on?
Goblins are on our tail! Open the gate, Zevlor, now!
You let goblins here? Where is the druid?
Please! There's no time!
By the nine hells! Open the gate! Cannon! No!
Shit! Form a line!
And so, initiative is rolled for everybody. And starting from the top, the green borders show our current allies, and the red our foes. Shadowheart, interestingly, is not currently in the initiative. She was not seen or pulled into the fight, but there she goes. She might even miss out on a turn there for not being in the initiative at the very beginning, which is a shame. I possibly should have also short rested and healed us before we got into this fight, but that's my hubris of thinking we're probably going to be okay. So we just heard a horn sound up here. Can we see it? There it is. So someone sounded this horn, and we now have the rallied condition. Our maximum hit points has been increased by 8, which is represented by this red bar sitting in front of our standard HP bar. So now we can get involved in the fight. We have Lae'zel up first, and we have a goblin tracker here. Now, most of these folks are focused on attacking the gates. So we have a little bit of breathing room in our first major conflict of the game. But we would like to, if possible, save as many of these folks as possible. Now, for the targets, there are these archers that have low hit points. There is a bugbear, which has far more hit points, is a little bit stronger. So there is a warg, that's another quite strong, high HP creature. And then there are other goblins that have slightly more specialities. So another tracker here, only 7 HP, but the goblin boss here, 21 HP. So I like to try and target things with low HP to remove them from the order, so that then our foes are getting fewer actions per turn, rather than right now attacking all the things with big HP. As we're whittling them down, every other creature is continuing to attack us. So Lae'zel can move over to here, and then with our sword we can try and hit this goblin tracker. We hit them for 6 HP. They have 1 left, but we also have Pommel Strike. This does 3 bludgeoning damage and makes a non-lethal attack. So we won't kill them, but this is a bonus action, and if they're unconscious, they won't be able to continue in the fight. However, we missed on our attack roll there.
Get to the high ground! Raiders!
Right, we have Astarion. So, something that I did not know had been implemented in the most recent patch is previously you had to be hiding or have advantage that way to attack a foe with sneak attack. However, there is a rule in 5th edition that if you engage with an enemy that is within 5 feet of one of your allies, you can have sneak attack. So Lae'zel is currently engaged with this person, so if we do ranged sneak attack, we can still attack this person even though we are not hidden, which is excellent. Now, this person has 1 HP left, and a sneak attack for 1d6 plus 3 plus 1d6 is overkill. But these folks down here are still within 5 feet of an ally at the moment, so we can still attack them. And let's try for this goblin tracker that has 7 HP there, just to try and get them killed. So unfortunately we miss. We still have a bonus action if we want to do something, but I think we're just going to step back away from this cliff ever so slightly. We'll end our turn. Now, Gothic is up. Now, Gothic is a sorcerer, and sorcerers have their meta magic abilities. So we can twin spell, which means we can take an attack that would normally only be able to target 1 creature and target 1 additional creature on top of that. So if we click that, we can see several of our spells become highlighted, showing us which options we can choose from. And if we pick our chromatic orb, at thunder, we do 3d8 thunder damage, and we can do that to 2 creatures anywhere within this circle. And as such, I think it's worth targeting some of the things that actually do have a little more HP than the smallest creatures. We'll go for Goblin Booyah here, and let's try Goblin Boss. So we hit for 19 and 17 on those 2 creatures, which is massive damage. Then we have a bonus action, but nothing much to do with it. So we will end our turn. Our ally here doing great work. And this tracker. So that tracker tried to move away from a foe, and so that foe took an opportunity attack as they left their area of influence. Zevlor from up above attacks the cliffside because his pathfinding is not great. But the foes continue to be eliminated, which is lovely. Getting some good rolls in. The goblin has used a bonus action to disengage and move away from us. And Shadowheart is now up. We could attack the guy with 1 HP here, or we could consider trying to heal one of ourselves, but we did get a bunch of temporary hit points at the start of this fight. And our attack to hit with a dagger and a short bow is the same chance. So we'll attack here. And they die. We get a bunch of XP. And then we can end our turn. Excuse me. And now we have the 3 of us in shared initiative, so we don't have to act in the order presented. So we can start with our ranged attacks here. And so Astarion can still take that sneak attack. And we can attack anything that is against an ally. So the Warg here is not within 5 feet of Aradin, so we can't target the Warg with our sneak attack. However, Bugbear is within 5 feet of Aradin, so we can target them currently with sneak attack. Then
So much for peace.
Gothic, I think, can do the same thing here. We still have 2 enemies with quite high HP. So again, we still have a sorcery point remaining, so we can twin spell. Select that 3d8 thunder damage. Choose our 2 targets. They must be 2 different targets for this. And we do 14 damage on one and critical miss on the other, which is to roll a 1 on the d20 attack roll, is an automatic failure. Then Lae'zel. Now, our 30 feet of movement speed isn't enough to get up and attack, but we can see that this creature is only 52 feet away. So if we move 30 feet down, we do not have our action surge because we used it in the ruins and I have not taken a short rest. So instead, we will just dash. That doubles our speed, so we gain an extra 30 feet of movement. We can now come up here and put ourselves between the Warg and our allies here. This guy's going to action surge, attack twice. The Warg has been killed. Zevlor from up high.
Tormentum.
Cast magic missile. The other creatures there get killed in the back. Now it's just the bugbear remaining. So Shadowheart here. We don't need to attack with anything too drastic because we now do have quite the advantage against one foe. But we are going to be taking a long rest soon anyway, so why not show off Guiding Bolt? 4d6 radiant damage on an attack roll. And we still manage to miss. And Will critical misses. But Lae'zel now up here in the fight, we are able to attack with our sword.
Let's turn someone inside out.
And Astarion still able to sneak attack because this guy is within the range of our friends.
That was the last of them. Inside! All of you! More may follow! Open the gate!
So, Lae'zel has gained inspiration because she is a soldier. And if we see what she has going on, was it P, wasn't it? Soldier, Chapter 1, No One Left Behind. Ensure all of the Grove's defenders survive the first goblin assault.
Sunset can't come.
So we now have 3 inspiration points that we can spend on checks. We also gained enough XP during that fight to level up to 3rd level, but I'm going to hold off on doing that. And instead, after that fight, we've used a lot more of our spells, our sorcery points. We're low on health, so I think it's about time we took a long rest together.
Indolence breeds madness.
So we'll select Lae'zel. Potion of Healing, Cloud. Inflicts healing. Oh. I guess someone threw a healing potion and it broke. And it now leaves a cloud of healing above it, which is a new development. So there are various bodies here we can loot, and we can worry about doing that when we return. But up here in the corner, there is a Go to Camp and End of the Day button. You can click this from any location, apart from, I think there are a few dungeons that don't let you do this. So be wary when you're exploring. But right now, we can go to the camp and end the day. Do you want to go to camp? This will end the day. You have enough camp supplies to restore all hit points and spell slots. So, yes please. And this will teleport us to our cozy little camp.
This seems as good a place as any to make camp.
So, the exclamation point above Lae'zel indicates she would like to speak with us. And if we come over here, you can see at camp is Withers, who we just released from his tomb. So let's have a quick word with Lae'zel.
I want to have a word.
A monster forms inside us, and you think to be idle. I knew your kind to be fragile, but I didn't foresee the severity.
Be quick about your rest. We must locate a creche.
We need to pace ourselves. If we're exhausted, we're ineffective.
A cretinous notion in a complex circumstance.
Do you suppose the parasites inside us dare to rest?
That the Geich do not still pursue us with each peal of the bell? Take your rest. I will stand watch.
Should a single tentacle split your skull, I will not hesitate to end you.
So she's clearly very cheery, and we see that Shadowheart now would also like to have a chat.
What were you two talking about?
Well, Shadowheart's being nosy, isn't she?
I see. I'd be careful with Lae'zel.
You don't trust her?
She's not of this world. I'd be surprised if our interests remained aligned. Let's hope we rapidly find a healer. And just to be clear, come daybreak, finding a healer is our first priority.
Yes, we do really need to be doing that.
Good. We might even get lucky and find one right away. As I see it, we're overdue some good fortune. Rest well.
Alright, with the obvious conversations done, we can now click on any of the bedrolls. And we will come to this screen where we must select 40 supplies worth of food and drink in order to take a full long rest and receive all of our hit points, spell slots, and other abilities. If we only have enough for a partial rest, then we can come down here and your hit points and spell slots will only be restored up to half of their maximum, and you won't regain any short rests. So you can still take a rest, but you won't be nearly as effective on an empty stomach. And everyone starts with these supply packs that have the exact 40 camp supplies you need. So you can do that and have the full supply pack. if you have 1 member or 2 members of your party rather than a full party of 4, it's still 40 that's required to camping. It doesn't multiply by 10 per head in the number of people in the party. But rather than using the supply pack, I'm going to use a bunch of this extra fish and carrots and stuff. And we get to 41 of 40 with fish and carrots and pears and apples. So that's fine by me. We will take a full rest. And Astarion is up creeping in the night. We pan over the fireplace and we return from our long rest to where we had clicked the button in the first place. So that's going to be all for today. Next time we will level up to level 3, pick over what remains of this battlefield, and then go on into the Druid's Grove and see what we can learn about is going on in there. In any case, thank you ever so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything wasn't clear during these explanations, do let me know down in the comments down below. Otherwise, thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!